Tyrese Haliburton did not start. Third year in the league. Started with Sacramento. They traded him to the Pacers, and he is money. He has been 18 a game, 50% from the field. Look at him smiling. He's saying, yeah, that's right. That's right. That's what I'm doing. I'm dropping buckets. Tyrese, first of all, you've never been on the show. Thank you for stopping by. So, first game of the NBA Finals. What were you shocked? You play the Celtics now regularly. Were you shocked by how Boston won?
I was not. I might have been a little shocked at the way they shot the three in the fourth. But I think throughout this playoffs, throughout the second half of the season, they showed what they are capable of defensively, with their physicality, with their speed. So I'm not shocked at what they did defensively. I thought they made a lot of tough shots in the fourth, and they got stops and that allowed guys to get open shots in the fourth. And they had a 40-point fourth quarter. I think that was more surprising than anything, but not surprised in the way that they played, considering they've done this all playoffs.
So you know how to score the ball. Tell me when you play Boston, Tyrese, what did they do defensively or are capable of doing that other teams can't do?
Well, I mean, obviously you start off with the Defensive Player of the Year. Marcus Smart physically getting into you. And even if you're scoring, it's still taking a lot out of you just on how much he's hitting you, bumping you, just the speed at which he forces you to play. I think that does a lot. But they switch down the line. The two J's, Jayson and Jaylen, can really defend at a high level. I think we've seen that all playoffs. And then you got a guy like Al Horford, who has just been reliable for so long. He can switch out on guards. I think his length helps. And then usually – they went small last night, but Robert Williams usually guards the four, and he is the rim protector. You know what I'm saying? You beat one guy, you might beat the other, but Robert Williams is floating, waiting for you at the rim. So I think that they cause such a different issue than most teams, because most teams want to play their shot blocker on the five. Boston's allowed to do that with their shot blocker on the four man.
So you also started your career in Sacramento, not far from the Warriors. So now you got the beat up Warriors. You got the in between the championship Warriors. But you've been on the floor with them when they're running that fluid motion offense. I did feel like Draymond Green was kind of right. I felt for 75% of the game that, Golden State kind of led by 4, led by 8, led by 3, back to 9. I kind of felt they controlled it. What's the most difficult part of facing the Warriors' offense?
I would say the consistent movement. They got so many different actions, and they're always hunting for guys like Steph to get going, Klay to get going. Jordan Poole has obviously had a great playoffs thus far. I think what that makes them so hard to guard is that they're always moving. And it's like those guys have played together so long. It's like people always mess around and say it feels like Draymond and Steph have like a telepathy, and they do. And I think that's what makes it so difficult when you play against those guys.
I love Jayson Tatum as a player. I said if there's 3 young guys I would build around in the league and they have to play for at least 10 more years, I'd probably do Giannis, Luka, and Tatum. And Tatum, whereas Giannis isn't a great shooter from beyond and Luka's not a great defender, Tatum doesn't have a huge hole. He's not a great ball handler. But the one thing about Tatum, and he verbalized this, Tyrese, he verbalized this. He said, I didn't know if I was the guy. Generally, if you lack confidence in something, you don't verbalize it. And last night, Tatum did something that I've seen a few times. If he doesn't beat you on the first step or he's not feeling it, like he just gets rid of the ball. Like a lot of scorers, Tyrese, don't do that. Michael didn't, Kobe didn't, Steph doesn't, Luka doesn't. They're just going to keep shooting. The times you've matched up with him, how do you view him as an offensive player? Because sometimes he becomes more of a distributor in that offense. It's not necessarily terrible. LeBron has done that. How do you view Tatum as a player that you have to go up against?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, Jason's a superstar. Like, he's a tough cover no matter what. I thought last night he struggled. He missed, open looks that I don't see him missing again. I think he's had like one game every series where he's not had the greatest game, but he's always responded the right way. So I'm really curious to see how he, performs in game 2. But, when I think guarding Jayson, it's like at the end of the day, it's still Jayson Tatum. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think there's ever a time to relax. I think he struggled a little bit last night, and Jaylen had it going, so he was able to, facilitate. I thought he made some really good reads, driving, kicking, getting other guys going. So I thought he affected the game in different ways, and I think that's kind of what a superstar is, learn how to affect games in different ways.
Warriors are seen as sort of an offensive juggernaut. They actually, since Steve Kerr got there, allow the lowest field goal percentage. So it goes kind of contrarian to what we all think their offense. Give me your thoughts about the times you've faced the Warriors defense and how it differs from the Celtics defense.
Yeah, so what I would say is Draymond is obviously the quarterback, right? He's the guy telling your guys to go. He really fixes most of the holes. I would say, obviously I only played against Klay one time, but, he's a high-level defender.
Yeah.
I think Steph, people knock on him as a defender, but he's done this for so long. He's, like, always in the right spot, and he's just consistent. You know what you're going to get from him. He's super solid. So I think they just got multiple guys who have played together for so long, and when you have a group of guys who get along and who have played together for so long, it's like they know what each other's thinking, and they know how each other are going to react to certain things and know when to fix certain things. So I feel like they're a closer group. What I would say about Boston is I think overall they have better defenders, individual one-on-one defenders, 1 through 5. So I think that's what separates it. I think they're both great defenses. What I will say is I almost feel like Boston, outside of 2016, the series that Golden State lost to Cleveland, I would say this is probably the best defense that I think this franchise, that this dynasty of Golden State has ran into.
Yeah.
Just with their physicality, the way they switch things, and the way that they change things up. I think for the first 3 quarters last night, you saw more of a drop coverage, where Steph was able to come off and just knock down shots. But then Boston went small, so they had Horford play the 5, and they had Derek White and Pritchard in, and then they took Pritchard out, put Marcus Smart in, and Marcus Smart was guarding Draymond, so that was changing things to where Draymond's not getting that quick roll. Like, that's not there because they're switching everything, and they're able to do it because they have all these great defenders. So I think that definitely changed things for Golden State.
It's interesting, Tyrese. You're a guard, but you're going to be asked at times, to guard different people. It's becoming a positionless league. In fact, Adam Silver, the commissioner, talked about having a positionless all-star game, just the best players. And so, I mean, there's going to be moments on switches you're going to get, you'll be guarding a 3 or, Jayson Tatum or whatever it is. And it's interesting. If you go back to when you started playing basketball and you're young, 9 years old to today, the positionless feel, it does feel like to me that versatility is the new league, that you have to guard multiple guys. You have to do multiple things. Do you, as a guy that's grown up, you're a guard your whole life. Do you like that you are asked sometimes to defend a bigger player? How does that land for you?
Oh, I love it. I think that's what makes this game so versatile. I think we're getting more of the 6'8", 6'9" guard/wings that can handle, that can shoot, that can guard guards, guard wings. I love it. I love how the game is evolving, and just allowing multiple guys to do different things. And I think that's what makes Boston so successful. Is they have 2 big wings. Horford, it feels like, can guard multiple positions. I think JJ Redick was just telling me a stat about how Horford has the best one-on-one defensive field goal percentage in the league in the playoffs. And I feel like that's what helps him be so good defensively.
Yeah. Tyrese Haliburton, boy, you are a sharp 22-year-old guy. You really know your hoops. You sound like a coach. So I picked Golden State to win, but I did say I thought the Warriors got way too much time off, and I didn't think they'd be great offensively, and they weren't. Who did you pick in this series or feel would win, and how do you feel, Tyrese, this morning?
Originally, I picked Golden State in 6. I thought they would split the first 2, split in Boston, and then Golden State would win the next 2. I'm not very confident in that pick right now, but I am a believer in not overreacting. I feel like it takes 2 games for me to switch my opinion. So after next game, we'll be able to see. But, when you get to the finals, it's just a battle of 2 mastermind coaches, no matter what year it is. So Ime and Steve Kerr, just 2 great coaches who made a ton of adjustments last night. And so I'm very curious to see the adjustments going into game 2.
Well, you have an unbelievable career in front of you. You're always welcome back on our show. When you're on a road trip and bored out of your mind, tell us. We'll get you back on. You one of our new NBA analysts, Tyrese Haliburton from Iowa State. Great meeting you. Wonderful job, and thanks again.
Yep, thank you. Appreciate it.
You bet. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.